Hello, welcome. Today's video is not what I had planned for today. Today we are going to take care of some plant chores that absolutely need to be done and taken care of today. I have a list because you know how much I love making lists. They just help me stay on task, and also it feels so good when I cross things off of them. But I have a pretty significant list going. I feel like if we get to 3 of those things, like the 3 most important things, I'll feel really good, but we may keep going and then just see how far we go. So I'll list some of the things so that you have an idea. First and foremost, and the most important thing, we have to check in on my philodendron tortum Florida Beauty hybrid. It's the previous video you saw to this where I chopped it. I thought I had roots in the air layering sac, turns out I didn't, and I fear it is not doing well, the top cutting anyway. So we are going to tend to that. My guess is I'm thinking I want to bring it out of the pond and set it up to propagate in perlite. But we'll look at it and I guess we'll decide once I'm actually handling it and looking at it a little bit more closely. But yeah, that's like emergency. Also pretty urgent, we need to repot or upsize my philodendron strawberry shake. The poor thing needs help. It needs a bigger home, but also it just needs proper support. So that's very, very urgent. The third thing is I got this Aglionema. We don't even know the name, but my local plant shop had it, I guess a few months ago, month-ish ago or so, and I posted it on my Instagram story, one of my weekly visits. I saw it and I really wanted it, but I was like, no, I'm not gonna get a new plant. And then the following week, the one that I had been eyeing particularly, there was only 2 left, but the one that I was still eyeing was still there, and I ended up leaving the store and not getting it and regretted it. So I called them and they held it for me, and I ended up getting it. I've had it now for a few weeks, and it's in a terrible peat soil mix. We need to get rid of that soil, transfer it onto something better. I don't have a lot of experience with Aglionemas, but I'm thinking either a self-watering pot or transferring into semi-hydro. It just makes me nervous to completely transition its substrate. Like, the plant will shock, probably either way. So yeah, we'll decide on that. So if I get those three things done with you today, I will feel really good. But there's a couple of other things that kind of need to happen. My Alocasia silver dragon needs some cleaning up and some TLC. So does my cuprea. My Hoya polynera, my green OG, is still not looking well, and the propagations aren't looking the best. So I'm getting really, really nervous and thinking about just taking a couple more cuttings to see how that goes. Actually, I think that's all like the super urgent stuff. But again, if we get to the first 3, I will feel really good. The first 2 and the first one, the absolute most urgent. So I will get my table, my mat, my supplies, and we'll get started. I'm still so mad at myself for what happened with that philodendron tortum Florida Beauty hybrid. It's also, I feel like, not like me to just make a cut like that without really, like if that's something I wanted to do, I wanted to like ensure that the cutting would be successful. I don't know why I was just so confident. I mean, I could see the roots in the little propagation sac, so yeah, I just trusted it way too much. Okay, so here is the plant. It doesn't look terrible or like that much different per se, like at first glance, but the leaves are clearly droopy. The new leaf has not unfurled, and it's starting to feel like a little crispy, honestly. Okay, part of this is, let me grab a paper towel or like a little microfiber cloth and maybe try to release it. There is a new growth point that's kind of exposed there, like a new leaf starting to pop out. But overall, I'm just feeling like this would just benefit from properly propagating. I don't know, I just don't want to wait. Like, it could easily bounce back maybe in a week or so, but I don't know. I just don't want to painfully wait and watch it go downhill any further. So I think that I want to bring it out of here and then transfer it into perlite to propagate, and hopefully, I don't know, hopefully it's just, you know, better able to bounce back for me. I don't know. I'm actually honestly a little bit surprised because this has been such a hardy plant, and maybe it was just like, look at this leaf. This does not look good. Yeah. Okay, let me bring a moistened cloth and then actually something to dump the pot into. So let me just, this might be too big of a cloth, but let me just gently try to give it some moisture. See if that makes any kind of difference. It should have for sure unfurled by now. So I mean, yeah, there it is. It's loosened up now, so now it's up to it to continue trying. Dog hair everywhere. Okay, so I guess, yeah, I'm just bringing it out gently and just hoping for the best. All the initial water that I poured in here is still there. I mean, it's only been like 3 days, I think. There's a little bit of a new roots on this top node. Nothing on the bottom ones, which I wonder if that's why they're not looking so good, the bottom leaves. But there is a tiny little bit of new root. Oh my gosh. Can you see? Where is it? Right here. Okay, so, all right. I mean, listen, we already knew that this was a possibility, so let's just set it up in a proper way that it can thrive as it's rooting. Oh my gosh, this is a super dusty perlite. And I'm just gonna stick this, honestly, as far down as I can to see if I can encourage some of those lower nodes to root. I really need to get my other kind of perlite. I prefer to use a super chunky one from either Soul Soils, or there's Plantitas usually carries a really cool chunky one. Okay, I'm gonna hold my breath for a minute. I think I'm gonna set this back up in the cabinet just where it was. The cuttings, the 2 leaf cuttings, are doing well in the cabinet, or they seem still very plumped and well. The wet sticks, I mean, there's no movement there yet, so we'll see. Okay, there's water till about here. And yeah. We're gonna stick him back in the cabinet and hope for a much better and speedy recovery now that it's set up to propagate. This would be a good time to have propagation, those prop drops that everyone all over TikTok has been using, or to test at least and see how they work. Yeah, I just don't ever use like any kind of rooting hormones. I feel like they're kind of a joke. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's a good experiment. But okay. So here it is, and we will continue sending it all the get well wishes, and hopefully it roots up in no time. Up next is my philodendron strawberry shake. You already know how much I adore this plant. It has this tiny acrylic stake that's holding on for dear life, and so is the plant. And I don't know that there's a ton of roots coming out of the bottom. No, there aren't. But this tiny pot is not properly supporting the plant. So we're gonna give her a nice little upsize with a support pole that can actually sustain her. So I brought one of these. I think that these are called, they're from Gardenex. Oh yeah, right here. Gardenex decor, and this is just a sticker so we can remove it really easily, because if you know, I don't like things on my pots. And yeah, they're just the ones I use all the time. I find them really good and reliable. This way. So I believe this is a 4.5 inch, and then this is a 6.5, so it's quite a jump, but it's in semi-hydro, so I don't worry as much giving them like a bigger home, because I feel like, I don't know, it's just a little safer. Let's just go ahead and get rid of the sticker now if I can. I can't. Okay, so I just have several of these Grow Thickly poles. These are the medium 2.0, I believe, the ones that have, or is it the 3.0? It might be the 3.0, the ones with the front closure, but I don't really love these for like actual sphagnum moss and to support like those big philodendron, because I feel like they're quite narrow, like they're pretty skinny, and they don't, like once you have a third pole of these, they're not as stable. But I do find that empty, they're pretty stable for like a plant that I'm not looking to support with moss. Here's the pole. I'm actually already thinking it might need an extension. It needs an extension already, so we'll do that once it's in there. But I'll just place the pole here. I kind of like to place it to the side of the water meter gauge situation. And yeah, let's get started. See, how am I gonna do this? I think move. A lot of these roots are like black. A lot of these roots honestly look really dark and potentially rotted. But the plant has been doing well, so I'm not gonna mess with it. The plant, yeah, the plant's been doing really well. So I'm not gonna question it. Do you, girl? I do find that with pond, there's like some root rot happens from time to time, and that plant is really difficult to maneuver, and this pole is not helping. But yeah, I do find that that happens with pond from time to time. But again, the plant is doing well. It has been doing really well. So I'm not going to read into it. The plant is showing me she's healthy and well. So that's what I'm gonna go with. Over here. You know, I gotta clean up some of this mess because I just can't function. After seeing the roots, or like the root ball, and like how tight it was in there, I do think it was the right time to upsize. So I'm glad I'm doing that, or I did that. I'm going to attach it with grafting tape, and then I also want to trim off some of these areoles that are just getting a little wild. And of course I didn't bring my shears, so I'll be right back. They were actually already in here from last time I used them, so nice. Yeah, I'm just trimming all these areoles. Much better. I feel like the lighting gets super weird when I have pink plants on camera, so I'm sorry if it's doing that or if it has done that while we've been dealing with this plant, but now I'm just going to attach it and I'll give you a full look. Actually, I need to water her as well, but she's looking good, and I need to extend the pole, so we have a couple more things to do with her. I mean, I really don't think it needs to be attached more than that one area. But she already looks so much better and cleaner. It's so funny, like just the way it's been growing, and it's actually already twisting up here, so yeah, let's add an extension. Although that makes me nervous, it might not fit in the cabinet anymore, but it does need it, so let's just go ahead and do that now. Okay, so here's the second pole, and we are going to add the extension. I've done this several times here. These grow thickly poles, all of their versions like nestle into each other with like these little flaps and stuff. So they make it super easy to do that, and maybe I should have done this before I attached it. I don't ever think of my future self. I really need to start doing that. Because it just kind of, since it's empty, it kind of like bent it. And now I can't, like I can't properly nestle it in. So it goes inside, I believe. There we go. Okay, so now we'll attach it again. It for sure won't fit in the cabinet in the same spot I had it, so it might fit like on the bottom floor part though, which is where my Tortum Florida Beauty was. But that one obviously doesn't need all the height that it had before, so it should be okay. You can see like the size of this leaf, and then the newer leaves that were coming in shorter. And I think that's because, well, I was underwatering it quite a bit, but still growing, so, you know. But also it had, you know, it was just like dangling and holding on by a thread to that support. But yeah, I adore this plant. It's so beautiful. I mean, I made a whole video about how much I love this plant and why. So if you'd like to watch it, I can link that below. But like, ugh, so beautiful. Oh, let's water it. I almost forgot. Okay. All right. She's all set. I love her. Love, love, love her so much. So we'll put her back in the cabinet, but I do fear she is not going to fit in there for too much longer. That's okay. It's a good problem to have with a plant as beautiful as this one. I stopped for a short lunch snack and I'm losing steam very, very rapidly. Here is the plant. As I mentioned, it's an Aglionema. No idea what type. I guess I could look it up. I haven't cared to do that. And it looks really, really thirsty. I promise you, I actually gave it water a few days, oh my gosh, a few days ago. But you can see this soil it's just like peat. It's gross. And obviously it's also overgrown. So it's not holding in moisture clearly. So actually what I think we're gonna have to do is take it outside and try to remove this with like water pressure, as I've done before with other plants, because yeah, this is like, it's like a rock. The roots are really healthy down here though, so I'm really encouraged by that. I will try to get footage of me rinsing the roots and then I'll meet you right back here. That was a lot easier than I thought, and if you have an Aglionema, I'm so curious why the soil was all up here but the roots were just at the bottom. Is that normal? I don't know. After seeing these roots, I am going to put the plant into pond. Surprise, surprise. They just look really good and I have confidence that, like, if I was placing them in water to like grow water roots, pond is kind of just very similar, so might as well and do that. So this is the pot that I brought, but oh, this is not the right thing. I don't think, no, this is not the right, oh, it's over there. Oh, actually, yes, it does fit in here nicely. So yes, this is the pot that we are going to use. I did bring two others that are bigger, but ideally I would like to use this size because I feel like there's just a big jump. Like this is a 5-inch and then the others are like 6.7, so like 6.5, and they're just much larger. This is the correct water gauge, I believe, for this, hopefully. Yep. And this is weird and I don't know if you've noticed, but I like it when you put the gauge in through the bottom, because then if you need to lift the pot, you can just lift through the gauge. Sometimes they get a little like funny depending on where the plant is. So just something I've been noticing. I'm gonna use Rock's Pond for this because I currently have the luxury to pick from Lechuza and Collies, and these are just chunkier roots, so I think Collies is a great choice for that. Yeah, but let me know if that's normal for the roots to just be at the bottom, because that seemed weird to me. So there's actually 4 little plants in here, which is huge, making it all nice and bushy. Okay, we just need to water her through and then she's all set. And I've been thinking I want her over on this wall, but I've also been thinking I kind of want her on my coffee table. So we haven't decided a spot for her yet, but let me bring some water. We can water her through and then she's done. I'm sorry, you're not gonna be able to see anything. It's quite bushy. All right, so hopefully she recovers in no time. I think she is just so cute, so unique, definitely so different from anything else that I have. And I love the silvery with the white. Just think the coloring is so pretty. So yeah, okay, let's cross this off our list and see what else we can get done. Okay, to end it, I figured we would do the 2 alocasias that need some help. So I brought a couple of extra supplies. Let me lower you just a tiny little bit more. Just want to make sure you can see. So this is my silver dragon scale, and you can see it's just, you know, it dried out just a little bit too much. So we're gonna pick out some of these dry leaves and dry bits. I also wanna spray her down with my DIY pest repellent. Just something I try to do as often as I handle alocasia, because we know, you know? We know. It looks like it does have a baby that's like shooting out, which is exciting. If you can see that down there. And I actually do need to clean. So, okay, I'm gonna go wash this and let's get rid of these uglies. That's okay. Yeah, and then we will just water her through and spray with my DIY, and then she will be good to go. So this was fairly easy. Okay, my cuprea. It recently came to my attention that I really wasn't giving her the light that she needed. She's also going dry really, really often, and she is in a self-watering pot. I think just the mix might just be, even though it's like just tree fern and perlite, I think. Yeah, I don't know. There's a new growth coming out of this one plant. So I'm going to leave that, but I think I want to pull this other one out. Oh my gosh, I'm making a mess. I may need to, oh. Yeah, the roots are like barely there. I might want to chop it and try to get multiple plants out of this one. I think I will leave this one. Maybe just let's try to reposition her since we're here already. Oh, that's the wick. But I did recently increase the light that it's getting, and I want to be better about trying to get this plant to succeed, because at one point she was really promising for me, and I really do love these leaves. I think they're so beautiful. And I don't know if I said already, but she didn't like pond. I tried in pond for, I don't know, over a year for sure, and she was just never happy. So I moved her into this tree fern mix, and she was doing better, but I know she wasn't getting enough light, and then also she's going dry way too frequently for way too long because I'm a chronic underwater. And then I think when I was giving her water, I probably wasn't giving her enough. Okay, so she's done. We are going to also spray her down with my DIY because it's just good sense to do that. And then let me clean up here a little bit and we'll take care of the chunk. Okay, since we're here, let's just go ahead and take care of the chunk. So I want to cut it maybe in like 3 spots. I was thinking about rinsing it, but honestly, like, I don't know that I'm not gonna rinse it. I just don't want to potentially stress it out more than it already is and is gonna be after it gets chopped. But hopefully this is the restart it just needs, you know? There's some healthy roots toward the top. Okay, so I'm thinking I'll do 2 chops. So here, and then another one right over here. And technically this could be chopped again. Should I do a 3rd one? Maybe not. I think this is okay, and we'll see how it goes. I only brought 1 little cup for that. We're of course going to use stratum because I just found it to be the best for rooting alocasia corms or rehabbing alocasia, so that's what we're going to do. It's a tight squeeze in here, but I think that this is gonna be okay. And I'm gonna put another cup over it to cover it up and take it over to my grow rack. And hopefully these spread up for me. Okay, I'll meet you in the shower where we'll spray these alocasias. That's all we're gonna do for today. We definitely took care of all of the urgent ones. My Polynera was on my list, but I guess I'm just not ready to decide whether I want to chop more of it off right now or not. Some of the vines are so good, growing, feel nice and firm. Just some of the other vines is what's like consistently yellowing. So maybe it's just those particular vines where the roots are having issues of sorts. Anyway, I'm not ready to make the decision, so that's why we didn't tackle that one today. But I'm really glad we were able to take care of the rest, especially the Tortum Florida Beauty hybrid and the philodendron strawberry shake. I mean, the Tortum Florida Beauty hybrid has been weighing on me so heavy since I chopped it a few days ago and shared that with you. So yeah, I feel better about its current situation and more hopeful that it's going to root up and turn into the beautiful plant that I'm expecting. And I'm happy that my philodendron strawberry shake is set up in a position to continue to growing its beautiful self. Those alocasias really needed just a little bit of TLC. As you can see, it wasn't that much. Well, the cuprea maybe a little bit more. Anyway, it feels so good that I was able to get those done, and I appreciate you spending your time with me while I took care of that. As always, any suggestions, questions, anything, leave them down in the comments below. I look forward to seeing you very soon, and thank you so much for choosing to spend your time with me. Bye.